sure. Hey everyone, welcome back. Before we go into next week, that has what 10,000 reviews. We got no reviews this week, but we're gonna drop a little nugget of a state for you this week. You know, a little something something to whet the
Steak
appetite.
nugget.
Steak nugget. I like that. Steak nuggets? Snake nuggets.
Steak, not steak nuggets. Steak. I put them in my butt.
Taste the steak nuggets. Gotta love Jane Silent Bob. Yes, we're gonna do a little bit of state for you. We're probably gonna maybe, talk about the G1 a little bit, a few things here and there. Why Zack Sabre Jr. is your new champion. Stay tuned for in the show for that. So let's start WWE. Their writing is absolutely atrocious right now.
Oh, we're starting on WWE?
Yeah, why? Where'd you want to start?
Well, I didn't know. I just think you're coming out of nowhere here, and I'm getting a little bit scared.
Just like an RKO.
Yeah. Um. So okay, I was thinking about this at the gym actually. Funny enough, and the way that the position they're in right now.
Hmm.
And it's like it's not that people don't knock WWE for being bad sometimes. I mean, I'm sure they do, right? But
Yeah.
like a lot of the diehard fans get very defensive, like they can never do anything bad.
Yeah.
But I think most people will admit like there's a lot of periods of time where they were terrible. Right
Hmm.
now, the way that they're going storytelling wise, and it's not just injury based, because
Yeah,
there's
because
only
there's a
so
lot of
long.
injuries, which we'll touch on
Yeah,
that in a little bit.
you can only go so long off the star power of your people, right? Like Liv
Hmm.
Morgan was only going to last so long with the storylines. Like Dominic Mysterio is already starting to get to the point where people don't care. Nobody
Limited
cares.
shelf life.
Nobody cares about Penta right now or Ray Phoenix. Like it's in a weird place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I would consider this. So AEW is starting to right the ship, and we'll talk about AEW when we get
Yeah.
there. But I'm just going to make an example, and TNA as well. I think to an extent, I still think TNA is a bit rocky, but they're starting to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
This is like the where WWE is sitting right now is like that period of time when the Machine Guns left TNA and they
Hmm.
weren't sure what direction they were going with anybody, and Chris Bay just got the injury, and like all this stuff was happening, right? And then I would also compare it to that period of time where the Death Riders suddenly just fell off a cliff. Like
Yeah.
they're still not there for me, but that storyline is recovering because of where it's going. But
Yeah.
that period when they first came and they were really cool to like where it fell off and the TNA period of losing the guns, that's where WWE is right now.
Yeah.
They're so directionless. And meanwhile, NXT has like a very clear direction of where they're going.
Which is so weird.
I know it's not, and I wouldn't even consider that the NXT is telling like good storylines.
No,
I'm
but
not going to
they're
consider AEW telling or TNA, but WWE is in that place right now
but at
for
least there's a
American
direction,
wrestling.
like you said.
Listen, I'm not even going to say for just American wrestling because I don't know what's going on in Japan, and we'll get there. But
We'll get there, yeah.
general wrestling right now is in a weird place where we hit a peak of like all-time wrestling high in the history of wrestling through
Hmm.
all companies across the world, and now it's like you're hitting number two things: wrestling fatigue
Yeah.
and also just them all the hot stuff that was getting everybody back is starting to fade away.
Yeah, really, I would think the only thing really right now capturing people's attention is the Seth Rollins storyline.
Seth Rollins, that group in WWE, the Kenny Omega storyline that's happening in
Hmm.
AEW, and maybe Adam Page if he ends up winning,
Yeah.
and nothing in TNA.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
think I think it's a matter of even I've noticed like when we first started doing this 4 years ago, there was, maybe two shows a month. Now we're doing like, three shows, four shows a week.
well, we've also done that to ourselves.
In a way, yes, but I mean, WWE does three shows a month.
It's
Saturday night, like,
yes,
you know
I
what I mean?
agree,
Like,
and it would have been worse, but we never did. We really only, sorry, forced ourselves to cover the WWE
mhm.
stuff. We never really forced ourselves to do any AEW specials ever, which we should have done some. We did the TNA specials,
Yeah, we did. I think we did a couple Grand Slams, but
but it's like we go through these in and outs, and I don't want to leave WWE, but the only thing that sucks me back in is there's two things. When AEW has a banger pay-per-view where
mhm.
the matches are all really good, it usually gets me back on track. Or Noah. Pro Wrestling Noah just like
Yeah,
is a guarantee because I already know I'm gonna enjoy New Japan, even if it's bad.
yeah,
It's just it's but New Japan. outside of the recent events of like everyone joining House of Torture, which kind of was like, whoa, that's kind of like everything's happening.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
New Japan hasn't had a pull factor for me. Like I
yeah,
enjoy watching it, but it hasn't had that. Noah, every single time we watch another show, I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I like wrestling.
yeah.
Like I'm not
Noah
even
is doing a
joking.
back-to-back show. I think next weekend, the 19th and 20th. It's called New Departure, and you got Ozawa versus Keno in one of the main events.
Well, we'll review that as like a package deal maybe at some point.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
next
WWE, I'm very concerned with what's happening because
because they're doing was it 3 shows in 2 days, and so is
yeah,
AEW. Like,
I really love Jacob Fatu, but
yeah,
that storyline is really awkward right now. The
the
someone at my
Hikaleo.
work was telling me, shout out to Markel if you watch this, um, that like the naming of the wrestlers, the dead naming, where they're like, oh, it's Jeff Cobb or like
It's not Jeff Cobb. It's JC
or
Mateo.
Hikaleo. It's giving the sense of like scope to like there's more to wrestling and then changing their name to be this. But then I'm like, also when you do that, you're taking away the credibility of that name.
Yeah. And
You
we said
telling me
that in
that
last
name.
week's review, the Night of Champions review. What, Cody Rhodes just disappeared for 6 years and nobody knew where he was?
Yeah, and it's weird. By the way, Cody Rhodes is we talked a lot of poop about the Damian Priest interview was actually pretty good, so we didn't say it
Yeah.
was bad, but I talked about the stuff that happened specifically in that interview. I don't know if it's his most recent interview, but his it's with Kevin Owens. It's really good. You should watch that. It's actually a
Okay.
really good
I watched
episode
the
of a
Damian Priest one. The
podcast.
Damian Priest one was excellent.
Like, yeah, he had a lot of stories I had never heard before, and I was like, that's kind of what I watched a Christopher Daniels one with Chris Van Vliet recently. I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
it's old, but I really enjoyed him like explaining how Curryman happened. He's a
Curry
really
Man was great.
detailed storyteller. He has
Yes.
so much lore of wrestling. He was in WCW and he was gonna be in WWE. Like AJ Styles probably has a lot of really great stories
Yeah,
as
because
well
he
throughout.
started like one of his first matches also was in WCW.
Yeah, like I'd love a podcast with Sting. Like give me a special of like 10 episodes where Sting just tells you about everything and then that's
Going
it.
through like
Yeah,
each
I don't
each
need a weekly
episode is like a year.
podcast.
Yeah.
Just give me like a Sting special podcast where he just gives you his life because like there's so much there. Like
Yeah.
Undertaker's podcast at first was really like engrossing, but
But the
lately
thing
it's just
too
become like hot takes.
With Sting, at least he'll tell you he'll be kind of honest.
I mean, I think Undertaker's greatly honest.
No,
I
I'm
just
talking about someone like Ric
oh
Flair
oh
or
yeah,
Hulk
like
Hogan.
yeah, like a lot of the podcasts with Conrad, what's his
Hmm.
name? I forget his name. You know
Conrad
who I'm talking.
Thompson.
Yeah, he has like the Jeff Jarrett one and like so on, like all those guys.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like a lot of nuggets there of greatness, but then I feel like he's really just trying to pull like internet factor
yeah.
things.
Kind of like
It's
what Cornette did.
yeah, and Cornette's is dog shit now.
Yeah,
And I don't like it's all hot takes, and that's Undertaker's whole thing now is just all hot take
hot
stuff. Like
takes. Yeah,
sometimes he has like a good interview on, but like the Braun Breaker one was kind of interesting, the stories from him, but Braun Breaker's a really bad interview. Like he
yeah.
doesn't know how to like talk.
Jericho's was good.
Jericho's was great.
Yeah, same thing with Austin's when he first started was good.
I agree with you. I
And then
agree with you.
Austin he was forced to clean it up a little bit.
It got WWE'd, which is like
Yeah.
how Cody Rhodes is, and that's why the Kevin Owens one threw me off. There's so much swearing in the Kevin Owens one.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Yeah.
WWE.
Moving on.
The women's division is completely directionless.
Hmm.
If the storyline for the Jade Cargill thing is for Jade Cargill to win, to lose it to Naomi, to lose it to
To lose it to
Bianca,
Bianca, which
I
I think
feel
is
like
what's yeah.
it's if that plays out completely, then I don't think it's good because if I can predict your entire year of title
Up
changes,
until WrestleMania.
then that's not good.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like I appreciate Naomi now. Like we've had this conversation for being like a Chelsea Green. Like she's there to do this specific thing, and not that she's good because I don't think she is, but she knows how to do that thing.
Yeah.
And her character work right now is pretty good. Well, I don't think I've ever heard Naomi cut a good promo, but like the
Yeah.
character work right now is pretty solid. But I don't want to watch her be champion, and I don't want to
No.
watch Jade Cargill be
I don't
champion.
want to see Jade Cargill
I
champion.
definitely
Exactly.
want to see Bianca make it back to the top because Bianca has been the biggest anomaly of the last 2 years. She went from our number one women's wrestler
To
to like,
like
what are
the
you
bottom.
doing?
Yeah.
And the hair, I think they got to do a gimmick thing
Where
or
she
gimmick
loses the
match
hair.
where she loses the hair because it's boring. I don't want
Well,
to do
one thing we
that.
know, that's not even her real hair.
Of course not.
So,
But like it's you got to do it. I think that's like your next step for them. It's like a
yeah.
lucha wrestler. Like when Rey Mysterio lost the mask,
Hmm.
he didn't really want to lose it, but there's guys who do it on purpose so that they can move to a new stage of their career. And I think to get her losing the hair is the next stage of her career. It's Chris Jericho losing the hair.
Yeah.
Time to
Yeah.
get the list. Get out the
I
list.
get out the list. Get out the list. But
What
yeah,
do you what are your thoughts on that? Just
on what
generally.
on
Just with the women's division.
the women's division, like you said, is directionless. Liv Morgan got hurt, and apparently they scrapped all the plans for Evolution.
Yeah,
Like
so
you were going to build your show around Liv Morgan. I'm sorry, but Liv Morgan is not a strong enough character to build an entire show around.
every rumor that we spread here should be taken with a grain of
With a grain
salt
of
because
salt, obviously.
I'm pulling from the rumor mill, right? But I am
This is yeah,
very
everything.
deep
Like let
digging.
me flat out say, everything we're hearing is speculation.
Yeah,
Nothing
it
is
is.
fact on this show,
But I do the Instagram
unless we
thing.
state
I
it's a
do
fact.
yeah, exactly. I do Instagram wrestling, Twitter, wrestling Reddit. I'm watching all the YouTube videos, so I'm pulling from a lot of sources. So like
Hmm.
I like to think that I at least have a general idea of what's happening. And so they canceled the Evolution show when the Liv Morgan thing happened.
Because apparently it was supposed to be what Morgan and Rodriguez against the Bellas, right? That's
Yeah,
what I heard.
something like that. And then they did then they reset the show to put Alexa Bliss into a bigger role, and then they've
Hmm.
scrapped that whole show now. So now they're 1 week away from the show, and they had to start all over the booking, and there's no storylines leading into it because they had the storylines set, they didn't start them. Then when they
Yep.
started doing the new storylines for the new show, they canceled the show again, so they have to reset all over, and it's like it's a big mess.
Yeah. And
And
like,
like,
what is it? It's
congratulations to
what
Julia, but apparently the plan is for Stephanie to win.
to beat Julia?
I don't know if it's to beat Julia, but whatever they're doing, the thing with Stephanie is Stephanie's going to win. So well, I don't even
Okay.
know what show she's on because I don't watch the weekly show.
Stephanie's on Raw and Julia's on SmackDown.
So Stephanie's going to go for the title. Wait, what show is Naomi and thing is on Raw, right?
SmackDown.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. So yeah. So right now,
He watches the
Evolution.
weekly show, okay? So he'll be your guy for that.
Who does?
You
Oh,
do.
me. Yeah.
He'll be the guy for that.
Yeah. So we do like JC Jane is defending against Jordan Grace for the NXT.
Which Jordan Grace should win that.
Right. But mind you, okay, this is happening before Slammiversary because
And pairing Mariah Monroe with
Mariah
whatever her
May,
name is, Mariah
Blake
May,
Monroe.
Blake Monroe with Jordan Grace is the stupidest thing you could do. Why would you
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah. They just want a tag team.
And I'll
But
be
the thing
honest with
is,
you,
okay.
I don't want to discredit her because I like Mariah May and we've followed her from the very
Hmm.
beginning. Like one of
And
our greatest
when
feel good
Stardom.
moments was Venus Club Venus getting back together.
Hmm.
Okay, a lot of the WWE fans at my work are not feeling her. They're like, why is this girl here? No one is like appreciating what she is, and
Yeah, that's kind
I
of sad.
but I get it because it's like look at the shitty thing they just slapped on her.
Okay, so they
Anyways,
did change
continue.
it now for Slammiversary.
Go ahead.
So I was going to say because Slammiversary was supposed to be Masha versus JC Jane or Jordan for a winner take all match. My fear now is Jordan Grace is winning this match against JC Jane and winning all the belts and winning the TNA Women's Championship
I
back.
wouldn't be upset about that if the plan is for
Masha,
to leave,
okay.
or they're gonna put her back in the tag division with Kelly.
Okay, but that I feel like that's a waste of Masha
By the
though.
way, I don't know if you saw the botch recently. I don't think I sent it
Yes,
to you. Where what's her name?
Kelly and
Kelly's
Masha.
no, the one with Kelly and her boyfriend. He does like a dive over the ropes and he
Oh
misses
no.
completely and he hits her in the face and then lands on his head outside.
Nice.
It's I'll send it to you. It's actually
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah, we got Io and Ripley. This is where Ripley wins it back.
Okay, I want to ask you this. I'm not even going to speculate on the outcome of this match. Would you rather her win it here or her lose it, lose the match, and then go to like who's a Japanese wrestler that works for them that we haven't seen? Like, has Kyrie been gone for a bit, or is Kyrie
Kyrie's been
back?
gone for a bit. Yeah.
So Kyrie shows up maybe and interferes, and EO wins, and then at SummerSlam they have a stipulation, no interference, and then Rhea Ripley wins.
Okay.
Because SummerSlam's 2 days.
Yeah, that's true. And they need a contender for the other one because you got Jade Cargill versus
That's what I'm saying. So if you let build the storyline, don't just throw the belt back on Rhea.
yeah, build something, yeah. Um so it was supposed and we were supposed to get so Roxanne Perez is officially now the tag team champion with
Which this is a good storyline. I'm
yeah.
okay with this. And now you're gonna have Liv come back, and it's
But
gonna.
in order you have to defend it against four teams. And on that episode of Raw, he said one team from Raw, one team from SmackDown, and one team from NXT. Now they just paired Bliss and Flair together one team, and that's from one from each show. Because Bliss is on Raw and
They're probably gonna move them, and they just haven't said anything.
okay.
I mean, it
And
could
then
just be the star power. What's the other team?
yeah. That's it. That's all they've announced. It's two other teams after that.
I'm willing to bet money that it's gonna be Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe.
Blake Monroe or what's her name? Fallon Henley and Jasmine
Oh
Nix.
God, no! Come on.
You know that's
I would
you
love
know
to
that's
watch.
happening.
I would love to watch Jasmine Nix do anything, but I don't want to
Except wrestle.
except wrestle. Um, yeah, no.
Tiffy versus Trish for the women's championship.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense because they were just friends like a week ago.
Yeah. And Jade versus Naomi.
Yeah, so this is going to be Naomi's going to win.
Yeah, it's a no holds barred match. It's a no DQ match.
Yeah, Naomi's going to win from Shanana Guy.
Yeah. Do you think the other team involved could be the Bellas?
And that's why they put a Raw and a SmackDown person together. It's possible, yeah. They won't win. If you let them win,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even complaining. If you let them win, I don't want to hear any more complaining about any other company letting old people win.
Because you know who else is probably going to show on this pay-per-view?
Call it out.
Paige.
Tell your friends. Yeah, she is 100%. And
Paige
you know
is
who
gonna...
else is probably showing up on this pay-per-view?
Mm.
Britt Baker.
And Mae Young.
Oh yeah, and Moolah, and Gerald Briscoe.
He's actually still alive though.
And Pat Patterson will come back.
Yes, Pat Patterson. And booked the whole thing. But yeah,
He's
I don't know.
perfect for the women's pay-per-view.
But yeah, I think that's it's kind of weak.
Yeah, I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? If
yeah.
the wrestling is good,
Yes.
I won't complain because I do this all the time. We're stuck on this situation, but I
give
do
me
this
a
all the
fun
time.
match. I don't care.
AEW shows their card. I go, what the fuck is this? I don't want to watch any of these matches, and then by the time it's over, I'm like, okay, actually, I'm okay.
This was amazing.
That's Noah booking.
Yes.
It's this guy versus this guy, and then you watch, you're like, oh shit, yeah.
I mean,
okay.
sticking to the WWE theme, let's talk about Noah, our boy. He's facing off against your boy Yobagoya there for the championship in Nomura
On Noah or on WWE?
on WWE.
Wait, hold on. Inamura's facing Yobagoya for the belt.
Yeah, for the NXT championship at the Great American Bash.
He's not going to win, but that's cute. I like it. He's a good wrestler, man. He's a really
great.
good wrestler. He's someone that I promise you will pull a great match out of Yobagoya.
Yeah. And the other match is the Jasmine Nix and Fallon. You know what? This happens the night before Evolution. You got Grayson Monroe versus Jane and Fallon Henley. I think whoever wins that match will go on to.
Yeah, you're not going to not take the star power of Monroe and Grace. There's no way.
Yeah.
For your big women's pay-per-view, no, you have to. Like, come on.
And Sol Ruka versus Izzy Dame.
I'm a big Sol Ruka fan. I still don't think she's there yet, but I am. It's like the other girl. What's her name? The Flippy Dippy, the black Flippy Dippy. There's the white Flippy Dippy who's Sol Ruka, and then there's the black girl.
Kalani Jordan.
Kalani Jordan. Has the great raw talent. She's just not a good wrestler.
Not yet, at least. Let's see where
Sol Ruka's a little bit more polished.
Yeah.
But I don't like her finisher. It has too much room for error.
Yeah, if you don't hit it,
yeah, there's a lot of botch space there.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on WWE before we move along?
Figure out what you're doing with Braun Breaker because he's too good of a wrestler to be not doing anything.
I think this is long-term storytelling. This has Paul Heyman's fingerprints all over it. Breaker's gonna turn on Seth
Yeah,
eventually.
100%.
Yeah,
We're doing literally bloodline storyline
yeah,
like all over again.
yeah.
I'm not. I know
Now,
Paul Heyman.
because yeah, now he's what? First he was the advocate, then he was the wise man. Now he's the oracle.
Yeah, and it's gonna be so they're gonna suck somebody else in there after, maybe like Mello or someone. There's gonna be another young guy is gonna get
Hmm.
pulled in to replace Seth when it happens.
Yeah.
But let it go for a bit. Don't
Oh
rush
yeah,
it.
yeah. We're talking Mania. Like
Yeah, don't rush it.
Seth is going to do a reenactment as to what happened at Mania 32 with Mania 42.
You think so?
Yep.
Cash your badges, and he's gonna
Hmm.
lose.
Yeah.
He's gonna lose right away. He's gonna cash it in and then lose right away.
No, WrestleMania 32 was the match between Brock and Roman, and he came in and pinned
Oh yeah,
and won the belt for the first time.
that's
I think,
cute.
yeah.
Drew McIntyre, hi, you exist. Just want to
Yes, he's
acknowledge
back.
you.
Welcome
Just
back,
want to
Drew
acknowledge the
McIntyre.
fact that you exist.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. AEW. All In is looking to be a banger card.
Yeah, it's a banger card. We'll go through the card in a sec. There's a lot of things that I don't want to keep hearing Will Ospreay talk. I just
Yeah.
don't. I just shut the fuck up because I don't like it.
I am tired of Monet.
I'm absolutely not. I don't know what your hatred is. You have this deep rooted hate.
Yeah, I do.
He doesn't like women. Everybody should know that. But
Considering like, Julia and Steph and like,
it's just I understand you completely, but I
but like,
just don't
okay,
feel
like
that
on
way.
AEW 300, that would have been the prime opportunity for Shirakawa to take one of the belts away from Monet and start that losing streak. You know what I mean?
When I think, and I agree with you on that, but the match ended up being really good, and
It
I
was a good match. I'm not saying Monet's not
the
giving.
storytelling right now between them is very good.
Yes, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not. It's more of a thing towards Tony Khan, who has to make Monet out to be the best women's wrestler of all time.
What are we gonna do? We're
No,
just a
I know.
couple of smart marks sitting
Yeah.
in chairs talking doo doo about wrestling.
S-
Because you could sign
But at,
us.
at least I'm not in a basement.
I mean, I am literally in a basement.
In a basement, yeah.
But yeah, it's
And it's not my mother's. I actually own my own house, so
just also not my house, but I
no
don't own
judgment
it.
though. No judgment though.
I don't
I'm
own
also
it, but it's not my house. Um. Anyways,
yeah,
I don't know. I like it. But I get it. I get it. If she
yeah.
wins this, I'm going to be really upset.
I'm just throwing a different perspective, like a counterpoint to your point. You know what I mean? It's not
I
like
think you listen. At the end of the day, I think you let Tony Storm keep this belt for a long time.
because is this a winner? This is not a winner take all.
No, I have if you're me, if I'm you or whoever we are,
Hmm. I
if
am
I'm a
you and you are
if I'm
me,
a
and we are
dog,
all together. Cuckoo Jew.
he is me and I'm him. Okay, the have Tony win this,
Okay.
do blood and guts with women, and make Tony make a team, and make uh
Monet.
Monet make a team, and let have a double blood and guts match on that show. Have a men's one and a women's one, and give us the show we fucking deserve.
Hmm.
Have a whatever. Have the women's match first, and have like two matches in between, and then have the men's match close the show, like how you would on a WWE pay per view.
Yeah, the Survivor Series matches, the War Games.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm good with that.
we need to grow that show into something
Hmm.
different than just what it's going to be, because we already know what it's going to be. It's going to be Death Riders and their goofy friends against Samoa Joe and his goofy friends, which I'm okay
Samoa
with
Joe,
that.
his goofy friends, plus Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland.
Probably, yeah. Or Kenny and Ibushi.
When is oh yeah, because they just brought Ibushi back, right?
I think Blood and Guts is going to be literally following this all in.
Yeah, it's
Check
right
it,
after.
see it, type it in, see if we find anything,
Okay,
and I'll
doing.
talk about nothing, and then after we'll talk about the card for all in. Um, I really think there's an opportunity to bring back, and this is you know me, I was getting tired of it, but this might be
Oh
the
my God,
perfect
it's the
time.
same weekend.
Blood and Guts.
Yeah. Will AEW Blood and Guts will be part of the All In event.
So how? It's probably on the Wednesday. It's probably the Wednesday
No, it's July
following.
12th. I'll tell you who it's yeah.
Okay, hold on. Don't tell me yet.
Okay.
I think they should bring back Orange Cassidy. I think it's time to bring back Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
I think the
Yeah, I
world
think
needs
so
him.
too. He's hurt, but he's still hurt though.
Oh, is he hurt?
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was injured.
But
Okay,
see,
continue.
it's not even showing on the card, which is weird.
Yeah, because it's not part of it. They probably meet on the Wednesday night. The whole point of Blood and Guts is the follow up to what happens at the pay per view. It's like a blow
Yeah.
off. That's the weird thing. AEW's reset point for a lot of their things,
Is all
I
in.
think, is Blood and Guts.
Oh,
Like
really?
All In is like the lead up, and then Blood and Guts is like the blow off to like the big storyline always.
Yeah, it's not scheduled yet. It's usually you're right. It's usually the week after All In or the week after Forbidden Door, but
Forbidden Door, but now they
they
swapped them,
swapped
right?
it. Yeah. Yeah, so they swapped it this year because Forbidden Door is now in August.
Okay, so let's run through the card.
Okay, let's run through the card.
Let's do a
All
queue.
right, Timmy, we got so far there's 8 matches announced. Storm versus Monet,
Yep.
Mox versus Hangman. I think this is where you have Hangman win.
Hangman has to win. You've
Yeah.
built up such a good storyline in this and like such goodwill for
And that
Hangman.
mustache.
Yeah. Good job. He just finished clothesline from hell. I don't know what he called. I forgot what it's called. The shotgun lariat?
Oh, the Buckeye. No, the Buckeye's the other one.
Buckshot lariat
The buckshot, yeah. The
to
dead eye is the
he did it to Marina Shafir and that was
mm.
cute.
um Okada versus Omega winner take all.
Uh it's gonna be Okada.
Okay.
It's gonna be Okada, I think, and then Takeshita is gonna beat
Okada.
Okada.
Okay. No participants announced for either. Um well, Chris, a couple participants. You have the men's casino, which is so weird because they used to do this on Double or Nothing because the whole Vegas theme, Double or
Yeah.
Nothing in the casino battle royal, but they're doing it this year at All In. Um
These are
the
gonna end up being on the pre-show.
the men,
Both
well, there's two.
gauntlets
There's a men's and a
and if
women's.
they're both good, that's gonna be the pre-show. Is gonna be both gauntlets, I think.
Okay. Briscoe, MJF, and Mystico are announced for the men's, and Chris so far has been announced for the women's.
Yeah.
It's
It's gonna
this.
be Chris
It's
Statlander
this.
versus Willow.
So it's this weekend, and like they haven't even announced all their participants yet.
Well, because the Wednesday and Saturday tonight, and then Wednesday, Saturday.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, it can't be Saturday. So tonight and
No, it's
Wednesday. Well,
Wednesday.
Collision will
Yeah.
probably be back to back. It'll probably be on Thursday night or something.
Yeah. Swerve and Will versus the Bucks.
I mean, I'm excited for that match. Let's
Yeah.
be honest. And
If Osprey and Swerve lose, they cannot challenge for the championship for a whole year. If the Bucks lose, they'll be stripped of the EVP titles.
now think of what I'm saying here. From
Hmm.
storyline perspective, what better thing can you do in a situation where you had all these guys contending for the belt, but you really want Hangman to win? Is take away them being able to contend for the belt for a whole
Yeah.
year. Now you have one whole year where nobody has to worry, and I'm not saying I don't want them to win, but Swerve or Osprey winning the belt.
Yeah.
You have Hangman win. I think you have Hangman probably lose to like MJF, and
Okay.
then have MJF
And just give the
lose
Hurt Syndicate all the belts.
maybe at some point, and then have MJF lose to like a turn to Keshida, and then or just whatever, do it however you want, and then have it go to Swerve and Osprey, and then let them battle over the belt. You have built-in feuds.
But I mean, you also have Josh you could throw in there.
Josh is not winning the belt.
No.
Josh maybe the other belt.
Yeah. I got to find out what happened. It was tonight. Josh was the MLP show was tonight in Montreal,
Mm.
the night of this recording, and Josh was facing Ace Austin for the championship.
Oh, that's a good match.
Yeah, so I might want to go back and watch that. And PCO versus Dan Maff, baby.
Oh yeah, that's actually probably going to be good.
Yeah. Okay, you got oh boy. Adam Cole versus Fletcher. Fletcher's winning this one.
I think this is where Fletcher wins the belt, and I still I believe that Fletcher is going to win the Ring of Honor TV title as well, and he's going to be the new king of TV, and it's going to start a feud with Samoa Joe, and that's going to be the next program for both of them.
Okay, I'll take that. Hurt Syndicate versus Jet Speed versus the Patriarchy for the AEW World Tag Team Championship.
I like this.
Yeah. It's a good way of putting the belts on Jet Speed without having the Hurt Syndicate take a loss.
The Hurt Syndicate is going to win.
You think so?
100%. 100%.
I honestly think it's going to be jet speed by pinning Nick Wayne, and that's going to create a Nick Wayne Christian Cage.
Maybe, maybe. Apparently, they wanted this pay-per-view. They wanted the Bucks to stay the champions, and they wanted Christian and Edge to face them for the belt. But Christian doesn't want to rush the patriarchy storyline, so they're waiting until he's done doing what
Yeah,
he's doing.
because yeah, Edge is nowhere to be seen. He'll probably enter the Casino Gauntlet match.
Yeah, he'll be like a secret contender that nobody knows about. That'll be
Yeah,
his comeback.
you think you know him?
You don't.
No, you don't. And then the night before too, Ring of Honor is also doing their.
Well, that's all they announced so far.
Yeah, that's 8 matches. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
more than
all in.
they.
So it's all in. So it's definitely going to get to like 12.
Oh yeah, at least. There's a few matches, 4 matches announced for the Ring of Honor the night before. Sons of Texas versus the Infantry. Oh boy.
Yeah, I see, but this is the problem because we know that Sons of Texas are not going to lose that match, and I wish it was a more convincing
Yeah.
person to for them to
Ooh.
face.
Bandito versus Takeshita for the
Yeah.
ROH.
Oh yeah. I actually scrap all my storylines. Takeshita's going to win the Ring of Honor belt, and he's
Yeah,
going to take the Ring of Honor belt with him to the G1 tournament.
I like it. Which we'll get into that right after we get AEW.
Scrap all my storylines. I completely forgot that was happening.
Yeah.
I ruined my own stories.
Athena versus Thunder Rosa.
I want to say Thunder Rosa wins the belt, and it spirals
Yeah, this
Athena
way
into like an
Athena,
anger,
yeah. And have her, yeah.
and then she's gonna destroy Monet or something. Like
Yeah.
it sets her off to become like a character in like a rage
You
where
know
she
what?
just beats
I
the crap
wouldn't
out of
mind
everybody.
her beating Monet for the strong championship and have Athena as the strong champion.
Monet's not strong champion.
She's not. Oh no, Azumi is.
Azumi won. Have her win the TBS belt. That's what I
The
would do.
TBS belt.
Anyways,
Okay, yeah.
continue. We digress.
Lee Moriarty versus Blue Panther. Not Sex Panther, but Blue Panther.
Oh, Moriarty's gonna win, but
Yeah. Because he Blue Panther's what, 107?
yeah, but it'll probably be a fun match.
Yeah. Honestly, Blue Panther is like, I think he's older than your dad.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's
He's
like
like 64.
a really old dude.
Yeah.
Some really old guy.
Yeah. Blue Panther. Okay, that's Ring of Honor. TNA also has Slammiversary. We touched upon that with Masha defending either
I'll run through the
against.
card. We might as well.
Okay, we'll run through
We
the
might
card
as
there.
well because we're not going to talk. There's nothing much to say about TNA because they don't have a lot of
Yeah.
hot stuff going on. I don't know what they're doing with this Joe Hendry situation.
So it's
Are they going
here's
to
the
give him
here's
back
the
the
main
belt?
event. It's Trick versus Joe versus
Yeah.
Carlos Santana.
And is that so that they can give the belt
Santana
back?
to Santana.
Yeah.
I think they're going to give the belt to Santana.
I think that's what the plan is.
Yeah. This I'm looking forward to this because I really hope it happens. Moose versus Leon Slater,
Yeah. This
which
better
I've
be,
never thought I'd say I'm looking forward to a Moose
but
match.
this better be his putover. This
It
better be
has to
what
be
this all has built up to. This young kid,
because the
you
build up,
got to do it.
I think the build up for Leon Slater and Moose has been fantastic.
Yeah, it
It
has.
has
And
been amazing.
it's the best storyline they have.
It
And
is.
whatever little teasing they've been doing between Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly, I kind of like as
Yeah, I
well.
kind of like that too. But I really have enjoyed this build up to Moose and Leon. And if Moose doesn't put Leon over here, I lose faith completely.
Yeah,
Oh, my
100%.
sign's working today.
No, it's been on this whole time. Where have you
Oh,
been?
okay. Uh, Four-way match. Ooh, this looks other than that. The Nemeths versus the Hardys versus the Rascals versus First Class for the tag titles.
Who the fuck is first class?
Your boy AJ Francis in
Oh,
case
that's a good tag match.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's a wicked tag match. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's what
The
I'm
Nemeths
saying.
are gonna win.
Who is? Sorry.
The Nemeths.
I think
Shenanigan.
First Class is going to win
Really?
by Shenanigan.
Okay, well, as long as it's Shenanigan.
Yeah. But and then we got Tessa versus Indy, which should be a good match,
That will be a good match.
right? Oh yeah, he just showed up on. So Russell Talk, you were wrong about Cedric Alexander joining the Hurt Business.
Yeah, I said 100 times that was going to happen, and I'm the least qualified person to tell you that.
Yeah, Cedric Alexander is part of TNA, and he's facing Mustafa Ali. He was the one.
It's an
He
alright
was
match.
he was the one making that Tasha Steeles was calling all the time. Apparently,
Really?
yeah. Yes, I've been actually watching the TNA week to week, or at least catching up on the highlights. But I mean, if it's anything like the match they've had when they had the 205 era,
Should be good.
when Cedric was the 205 champion, he was like,
Yeah, weren't they the finals of the tournament?
no, it was him and TJP.
Mm, that was a good fucking match, actually.
Yeah. Cedric versus TJP was fantastic.
It was a really good match.
I think Zack Sabre Jr. was part of that tournament
He
too.
was part of that tournament.
Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi. See what I mean though? Like, if when you look now from what we know now, how did you not have Kota Ibushi or
Yeah.
Zack Sabre Jr. win?
But I mean, your first champion was TJP, and he's amazing.
Which is yes, TJP is wonderful. He's
Right.
a
So,
wonderful lad.
you got the Elegance brand,
What
Ash
does he
and
turn into? A Mogwai?
the Asswang.
The ass
The
wang?
Mogwai.
Mogwai, the guys from Gremlins, right?
Gremlins. No, no. It's an Asian. It's a lot
Oh
in.
yeah, it's the Filipino guy,
Yeah,
yeah.
like the sleep
The
demon or whatever.
Oswong or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
Aswang. Aswang.
Well, that's too far. You've gone too far.
Elegance brand against Inspiration. Inspiration are winning this.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I'm happy. I'm really happy.
Yeah,
Them leaving wrestling, WWE cutting them was the stupidest thing they ever did.
yeah,
They were the most entertaining thing in their entire women's division at that point.
yeah. They were. Like, okay, granted, they weren't as polished in the ring as some of the others were, but they were entertaining as hell.
No, they were some of the best women's talkers that have ever been in WWE
Oh yeah, for sure.
on just like mic work.
And then you have Slamovich versus either Jane or Grace.
That's actually a pretty good pay-per-view. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. Of all the pay-per-views we just talked about, this sounds like the best one.
yeah. This sounds like the most fun. Yeah,
Can't lie. I mean, we
yeah,
like some TNA here and there.
yeah. Every now and then they give you that little morsel.
Yeah.
So moving on to Japan. Zack Sabre Jr. is your new
I
champion.
want you to
Hmm.
first, I will not talk. I want you to first tell me how you feel, even though we've talked about this, and then try to explain it. Not how you feel, explain the situation.
Explain the situation.
But then first tell me how you feel about it.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it because of the fact that Goto should have had a little bit of a longer run with that. But the situation behind it, I can understand. It was a last minute, from what I understand, and this is just me listen, taking sources of information from everywhere, like we've been doing all night, is Goto got hurt during the match, and he's out for an indefinite amount of time to the point where he's even missing the G1 now.
So that's probably why they switched the belt.
That's why they probably switched the belts. Zach,
Okay, well, see, now we know. You didn't tell me any of this before. You're just in the middle
no,
of a.
I just found out about it this week doing research and stuff, right? So, good old Timmy has been on it with me, we've been looking it up. But yeah, so Goto is now he's out of the G1, and they don't know who's taking his place yet. Oh, Fale is also out too.
Yeah, Fale's fat. Fat lay.
So on tomorrow, as of this recording, tomorrow there's going to be a last chance gauntlet match to get Goto's spot.
So who made it out of the ones we were talking about?
So the play-in tournaments was Drilla defeated Ishii to
Hmm.
qualify. Caleb Newman defeated Taichi to qualify. Roihei Oiwa defeated Kojima to qualify.
Oh, that was probably a good match.
Yeah. And Yoshihashi defeated Chase Owens to qualify. We're not
See?
getting, we're
But
not
that was
getting,
the plan. Now we know
that
that
was,
was the
yeah,
plan.
that was going to be the plan because he would have been in block B and Goto would have been in block A and they would have met in the semis.
I'm actually that's I like those choices to get in. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, especially like so now all those four losers are going to be in a gauntlet match. So Ishii, Kojima, Chase, and Taichi will be in a gauntlet match.
Who
So
do
the way
you
it's
think
going to work,
wins? I think Kojima wins.
it's either him or Ishii because at least you'll get some good matches out of that.
Yeah, and I don't know if Kojima could handle
The
the,
the
the
month
tournament. And I don't want Chase Owens, so that's fine.
or
And
Taichi.
I don't want Taichi, so it's gonna
Yeah,
end up being Taichi.
and I'm a Taichi guy.
I know he is. I'm Miho Abe.
Yeah,
Not the guy. not the
not
ring,
the announcer.
not the bell guy.
That's the Noah timekeeper, Miho Abe.
Yeah,
He's the greatest timekeeper of all time.
of course, he's been hit every single time.
Yes. Yeah, I think Ishii's taking this spot. So the way it's going to work, they're going to get two random wrestlers in, and the winner moves on to face the next guy, kind of thing. So if it's going to be Ishii and Kojima starting, if Ishii beats Kojima, then the next Ishii stays and the next guy comes in. So
I think it's gonna end up being Taichi because he's the highest skill to youngest ratio of that group, like that can handle doing this week. I don't think they want to put Ishii through that. I don't think Kojima could do it. I don't think
yeah.
Chase Owens could do it. I mean, I
Yep.
wouldn't mind Chase Owens. Chase Owens, the last G1 had some really good matches.
Yeah. But I don't think he'll be. See, that's the thing. When Fale went out, they should have just given his spot to Chase,
Yeah.
right? That would have been. So now in Block A, you have Oleg Bolton, Evil, Finley, the winner of that gauntlet match, Caleb Newman, Oiwa, Sanada, Tanahashi, Yota Tsuji, and Uemura.
We forgot. Like it's Chase Owens is part of House of Torture. They're gonna shenanigan guy a win for him to get in.
Oh yeah.
That's how it's
Uh
gonna happen.
Block B, Phantasmo, Gabe Kidd, Drilla Maloney, Ren Narita, Great Khan, Zack Sabre Jr., Shingo Takeshita, Umino, and Yoshihashi.
I think ELP is gonna do really well.
I think Gabe Kidd is coming out of this tournament on top in
I,
Block
I
B.
I agree with that too. I agree with that too.
And then he's going to lose to Tanahashi in the finals.
Oiwa, Suji,
Narita, I think
Takeshita.
Narita's going to have a good showing.
Oiwa, I don't remember what I just said. Oiwa, Suji, Takeshita, or Gabe Kidd is going to win the tournament. One of those four will win the
You
tournament.
don't think they're going to give it to Tanahashi?
No. If they do, that's some silly fucking goose shit. You can have him maybe get out of one of the blocks and go to the semifinals, but he should not make it all the way.
Yeah.
You're taking away the fans getting to watch a really good match if you put him in the finals.
Especially this year where you have such young talent in both blocks. Like you have Caleb Newman, Oiwa, and Suji and Yuya all in one block. And those are going to be some like killer matches.
I think they should have let Caleb Newman ride
The tag
Caleb.
Callum Newman.
I said Caleb. They should let Callum Newman ride the junior division for a bit and let him win
Yeah.
some stuff there before they just threw him into the heavyweight division.
Where's Catch 2-2?
I think they're both injured.
They're both injured.
I know Akira was injured.
And I remember TJP was also working without a contract. That's why he's riding the strong with Templario if they're still champs, right? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that looks like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's New Japan. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this year's G1.
I told you I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I'm going back to the old days. I'm gonna do every match.
We're gonna do the weekly update again.
I don't know if we'll do weekly updates, but I'm gonna do every match. We'll see
Okay.
how busy it gets with how many reviews we have to do.
Yeah, because I'd probably at least watch every show, but watch all the main like the tournament matches, not the filler matches.
Yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, it's unfortunately the Noah show that's next week. We don't have any information other than it's Ozawa versus Keno.
Noah Stardom, we don't really have anything to talk about.
Yeah.
CMLL, we don't really have anything to talk about. I don't want to talk about AAA, so
Okay. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. Tune in next week. Next week is when the reviews are going to start. I booked that week off, not just because I always booked the week of my birthday off, but I also knew we had 5 shows in 3 days, so I'm ready for it. So you'll probably get a few reviews out next week. But other than that, make sure you go follow this guy. His stuff will be down in the description box below. He has reviews. He has tier lists. He has a whole bunch of great pop culture stuff. Yeah, we got a couple reviews coming out over the next few weeks. We're going to have Ironheart review. We're going to have the F1 movie review. And we're going to have a Dan to Dan review eventually as well.
eventually.
And
they didn't drop it all at once, by the way.
oh, they didn't, eh?
No.
Just the first 3 episodes, I think, right?
No,
the movie,
just one.
basically.
No,
Oh,
just one. It's
Oh, so
week
they're
to
doing
week.
it weekly. Okay. But then we got a whole bunch of summer blockbusters coming out this
Yep.
month too. We got Superman, we got Fantastic Four, we got Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And I just watched Heads of State with John Cena and Idris Elba. Fun little movie.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Fun little movie. All right. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. And in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.